Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are really excited to present today. This is one of the largest audiences we've had. Nearly 200 people have joined us, so we're really excited about that. Today's topic, an Oracle BI overview and demo, will be led by Mark Jocelyn from KPI Partners. Mark is the Business Development Director for KPI Partners in the Southeast and the Southern United States. Prior to KPI, Mark was a staff member at both Oracle and Hyperion for 10 years in both consulting and sales roles. If you want to find out more about KPI Partners or how we can assist your organization with Oracle Business Intelligence, please contact us through our website at kpipartners.com. I will now pass it to Mark Jocelyn. Mark?
Good morning, sir. With OBIEE 11G, we see a new landing spot. We see a brand new opportunity to experience an environment that brings you in, instead of just a default dashboard, you now have the opportunity to have one place to manage your entire environment. You have your recent dashboards where it's maintaining where you have been, recent updates, what's most popular to you. You also have now within a common landing dashboard one place to create everything. In previous versions of Oracle Business Intelligence, you would have different places to go create actionable items or alerts or notifications or even pixel-perfect production reports. Now that has been combined all together into one seamless integration, and also around even scorecarding and ad hoc analysis. So the walls of where we used to have a bunch of different applications now has gone by the wayside and seamlessly moved into an overall approach of one version of BI tool within the Oracle world. Now, within 11G, we used to know this thing as answers. Now it's just to create an analysis. We see significant improvements not only in look and feel, but also along the means of being able to do hierarchical member browse, interaction, dimensional column, member selection, custom grouping, calculations, and even connectivity for OLAP and sources and other sources beyond relational, like Essbase. So we see an expanded amount of functionality. Now, as you go through this, if you're an old Hyperion user, you're going to recognize some things that were familiar to you. If you're an old Discoverer user, you're going to recognize some things that were familiar to you as well. What we really like about OBIEE 11G is the fact that it's now merging, a lot of what was best of those other legacy tools into one consistent platform. So as we look at some of the net new features available, we see new visualization within 11G, range sliders, paging sliders, legend-based interaction, drilling to detail. So an entire new charting engine to enable that type of really sizzly flash reporting, as well as bringing in, pixel-perfect PDF and PowerPoint into the overall functionality. Now that type of graphics is applying across the board. So as you're looking at some of the advanced charting that you used to be able to not do in OBIEE, you now can expand out and have to do less tweaking, such as geospatial analysis. This is something now within 11G that comes out of the box. So it uses Oracle's spatial technology and integrates directly into the database. It comes with a variety of geo maps. You also can provide whatever type of bitmap analysis or custom mapping and either use GPS coordinates or even spatial mapping coordinates, such as inside a store down to the foot level, to lay out how you want your geospatial to look and how you want to be able to drill in that, interact, control with maps, and do a very, very simple, map type charting out of the box very efficiently. One of the great things about 11G is the fact of how it's integrated now into the pixel perfect production report writing. That was always a strong suit of Oracle BI, but always a separate, if you will, branch of business intelligence. Now it's been included into an overall capability of bringing that in and authoring that on the web. So the product that we used to know as BI Publisher now can have a web layout, be part of the OBIEE suite, authored directly from inside OBIEE, and even consumed inside OBIEE as, PDFs, HTML, rich text formats, PowerPoint, Excel, being able to now give a seamless integration into that overall aspect. Scorecarding is not new to Oracle, but it used to be, like so many other aspects of what we're talking about, a separate standalone. Now, Oracle's scorecard has taken basically the best of breed from the PeopleSoft scorecarding, the Hyperion scorecarding, and rewrote all of that now within OBIEE, leveraging the 11G, being able to do fishbone diagrams, strategy mapping, accountability mapping, and providing a world-class scorecarding methodology out of the box, being able to combine heterogeneous sources. So many of the other scorecarding applications used to require you to do so much of the data mapping or even load the data into an alternative data source just for scorecard. With this new methodology, we're now laying it over a common foundation of OBIEE 11G. So any of the sources that OBI is pointed at now can be integrated into that scorecarding application, as well as, one place to do alerts and notification. Within 11G, it is now integrating into Oracle's complete stack. So what is provided with OBIEE is a limited use version of WebLogic, so that this runs off of that platform to provide easier deployment, quicker scalability, to provide a simple topography management, easier monitoring, and it fits into the overall stack of your other applications. So it's no longer a one-over app, it's integrating into Oracle's strategic methodology. This really gives you a total lower cost of ownership, makes it truly hot pluggable in your existing infrastructure. Here at KPI, we've done quite a bit with various customers, GE, Cox, and others, that we've helped them through the migration process. And in fact, we have quick starts to where we can come in and help customers take their existing 10G environment and do a basic conversion, or we can help you do the complete rollout conversion. We've developed, because we have worked as part of the beta program on 11G and have been working with it since its release, we've developed not only a best practices methodology, but internal training for our consultants on how is the best way to leverage the integration, how is the best way to leverage the migration utilities available within 11G, and put together a proven project plan and roadmap to help customers move forward. And at the end, if you're interested in hearing more about those success stories or what we could do for you, we'll share that contact information on the end. One of the exciting areas that has got a lot of people's attention on 11G is how it really applies to the S-Space environment and how we can then leverage a seamless environment. Now, I'm not trying to make this entire presentation about S-Space, and we're not going to spend too much time on it, but what it does is really highlight the fact that OBIEE 11G has now moved to the next level. It is truly an enterprise-wide platform to go against multiple sources simultaneously and federated sources simultaneously that you can leverage a seamless experience to your end users. Being able to provide such easy dynamic migration of your S-Space reporting into the strategic direction for Oracle, being able to leverage that out-of-the-box capability, the hierarchy, the dimensions, the rules and attributes, simply by dragging them into your common information model and not having to rework all of that. It does this and leverages not only S-Space but Oracle OLAP and other sources and even SAP BW by the power of MDX. And MDX is multiple dimension expression language. Basically, it's SQL for OLAP. So to be able to do standard SQL language against a multi-dimensional source and really be able to bring things in and leverage that MDX, such as time series and time series calculations. Also, because one of the key aspects of this is, coming from Hyperion, we had certain things in our reporting requirements that we always loved. That relational reporting didn't always do very well. Now, to bring S-Space into OBIEE and make OBIEE a full-fledged, full-feature reporting tool on multidimensional sources, it must do such things now as asymmetrical drill. Now, because it's there for the multidimensional, it's also there now for the relational. Member selections, being able to go through and use aliases, value-based hierarchies, and being able to leverage that rich metadata functionality of OBIEE from an admin tool. So a lot of the very things that we see OBIEE 11G bringing into it as far as functionality have been a lot to support those multidimensional sources, which has enriched its capabilities around the relational. So what I want to do now is, there's a lot of various aspects on that, and I'd rather show them to you than talk to them, as far as perspective. So as I switch over to this, now if I start off on my standard home page, which I now have a standard landing aspect, one place to create all of my environment, one place to do my pixel perfect production report writing, one place to do my analysis. I can start off with, where have I been lately, kind of what our boss always wants to know about us. What have we done for him lately? Being able to drill in on that specific information. Oh, there we go. I had left it sitting alone too long. It got lonely, and I had to refresh. So being able to come in and do asymmetrical drilling on an environment, is something that only you used to could do with OLAP sources. One thing that is now part of 11G is being able to do one common foundation for all actions. So I literally can integrate into this other applications, being able to integrate in Beeple, being able to integrate my action links and open up, say, EBS, order entry, or, even call and send relational detail not only back to the data warehouse, but also back to the transaction system and interact with EBS dynamically or relational dynamically, being able to provide new charting, new graphing, being able to do kind of a range selection. We know that maybe instead of looking at all 52 weeks, we have a significant amount of seasonality. And so within the first part of the year, which we're existing in now, maybe we want to readdress that seasonality and only focus on the first 6 months. So now I can get a better, more clear look at what's going on within the first 6 months. Being able to provide that type of dimensional analysis out of the box. Now, here's a good example of bringing in, from the end user's perspective, just another report. However, to peel back the covers and look at this in greater detail, I'm now looking at basically a ragged hierarchy time dimension. I'm bringing in information from a relational source. I'm also bringing in information from a multi-dimensional source or a relational source. I then can do a calculation against those two sources dynamically on my dashboard. And also, as I'm drilling through now, I'm now going all the way down to the lowest level and literally drilling out of S-Space back into relational to get the detail of what made up that S-Space environment. Within S-Space, we used to have to go through all kinds of hoops, drill through SQL calls to do that. Now it's just out of the box with OBIE. It makes life so much easier on the entire business process and design process of meeting your business intelligence needs. Everything, of course, is still very graphical, very drillable, being able to go into the overall business process. Looking into, for example, from a higher level, maybe I want to get down to a greater level of transactional detail. Now, within this view, it applies some significant enhancements that are available in 11G, such as commentary on dashboard, being able to write back commentary to dashboard, being able to write commentary back to relational sources, being able to even do that down to a report, being able to change facts on a fly, languages on a fly, as I've done here, and even being able to change currency. So if my converted currency for my ratio is now being shown in the U.S., but I'm really, since I just changed my language to French, maybe, I'm working out of the Paris office and really need to see all of my conversions in euros. Now, instead of implementing complex multi-relational SQL statements, it's out of the box. It just provides a greater flexibility to your end development. Now, at Hyperion, we had alternate hierarchies. Now, this is something that has made it its way to OBIE as custom groupings. So instead of drilling in on a specific product line, I can grab products from across product lines and build up my hot products list of just selected items. And I can do that through analysis without having to go in and create metadata structures. That's just now a report functionality. Being able to provide out-of-the-box geospatial analysis, being able to provide it, with all the same sliding functionality, chart functionality that is available to the other graphs. Now geospatial is just another chart type for us, so that literally the end user can create geospatial either based upon geo coordinates, zip code coordinates, or GPS. Within my standard dashboards, being able to integrate that pixel-perfect production report writing. So now instead of having two tools, one for one set of users and another tool for ad hoc for my online users, I can have the same tool. I can use OBIEE. I can provide the pixel perfect production report writing designed right here in OBIEE, leveraging the power of what is known as DI Publisher, and provide that pixel perfect production report writing seamlessly in the dashboard or as my end consumer. So let's take a look at some of the other type of charting capabilities that we're doing and other type of functionality, and then we'll show a little bit about the multidimensional. So being able to do the ad hoc flash type reporting, being able to do, maybe I'm looking at it by year, maybe I can just now drag and drop, maybe I want to change year, time over time, being able to actually drag and drop my columns around, how I want to position them, format them, being able to then slice and dice that information however is needed for me, being able to do that type of information. Being able to drill in on information on the fly, have it automatically refresh, being able to go across various attributes and get at that information very much in a real-time fashion. Or being able to provide higher level charting instead of being able to having to click on this, drill to another charting, which you can still do. I now can zoom in on my charting. So instead of drilling to another level, I can now just zoom in and see a greater level of detail, and at any given point then drill to the actual detail of that charting. Now, drilling into a specific environment, being able to look at details, being able to look at trends, and the sky's the limit as far as how you want to format, create your detailed reports, being able to drill in on specific content, or drill down to any given level. So I can actually look here, I'm looking by quarter, by brand, by revenue, by multiple quarters simultaneously, being able to design what truly fits your environment from your reporting needs. Now, looking at some of the multidimensional reporting between Essbase or any multidimensional source or relational, hey, the real answer here is it looks the same type of functionality. So if I'm in relational, I have the same capability of doing asymmetrical drilling. The end user really doesn't care where the data comes from, nor should they. So being able to drill in on saying, charting based upon Essbase and relational information combined, being able to provide that type of analysis out of the box, is very key to your end consumers, because there's a place where they want to leverage that multidimensional relationship reporting, and most companies do have multidimensional somewhere in their reporting environment, but yet we continually tell them that, oh, you have to have different reporting tools to do that, rather than just giving them one tool, all the time. And now drilling down right here, I started off at a high-level, multidimensional environment, and when I got down to the specific week and day, that's coming from relational. That's the information that made up the multidimensional, and no need to tell the end users any difference between the two. It provides that same out-of-the-box functionality. And in fact, instead of providing drill capability, we can actually give them the choice. Do we want to navigate to the Essbase detail from a summary level or the relational detail from a summary level? So, being able to drill to the it would help if I clicked in the right place that there was data, being able to drill into the relational detail. or being able to, so we could go against that real-time information back in the source systems, being able to provide calculations against both, sets of information in a federated query. So being able to bring that information, and I'm going against two different types of data sets simultaneously, and bringing it together into one common report, and then actually doing an OBIEE calculation. SBASE is real good at such things as, hey, what is my internal rate of return or my standard deviation? And then maybe I want to take that standard deviation and do an additional ad hoc calculation against it for my reporting purposes. So if I come back to my home page, to recap from some of the things we saw within the demo, one place to consume all of business intelligence, one place to perform, my pixel perfect production report writing, my actionable items, my scorecarding, my dashboards, being able to go through that entire process in a real-time fashion and being able to, provide that to where the end users see no difference between rendering a scorecard, rendering a map, rendering a dashboard, or rendering pixel perfect production reporting. All capable within the same consumption and being able to do that all within the same area. Now, that kind of brings us to where we're going with the overall capabilities within the environment. Some of the things we saw for our Hyperion customers is just a lower cost of ownership to move to 11G. To look at it from a 10G perspective, hey, there's a lot more flash, there's a lot more functionality, there's, but for our SBASE customers, it's now a lower cost of ownership, one front end, no need for multiple reporting tools, federated capabilities, enhanced out-of-the-box features with Answers Plus. So it really provides that one reporting environment that makes this truly an enterprise approach for reporting. Only now, since we've been going for almost 50 minutes, and gave you a 10,000-foot overview of OBIEE 11G, I wanted to take a moment and stop and open the floor up for questions.
Sure, Mark. And just to remind everybody, if you'd like to ask a question for Mark, feel free to ask it through the chat window in the GoToWebinar control module, or feel free to ask us a question via Twitter using hashtag KPIPartners. We've got several questions here, Mark. Dustin asks, are you able to rename report views in 11Gs with custom names?
Yes. So I can go in and give my report a custom header or custom title. And if I want to take an existing report and just rename it as something else, I just resave it in my folder.
Okay. VT asks, I have heard OBIEE version 11.1.3 is only available to 10G customers as an upgrade. If we go for implementing 11G, what version would you, Mark Jocelyn, implement?
Well, that is going to depend upon the customer's environment and also, your underlying data sources. Also, there is a new release of OBIEE 11G that is in imminent release mode. Hopefully, and I cannot speak for Oracle or Oracle release timeline, that will be within the next 30 days and give us a release 1 with expanded functionality to the underlying data sets.
We've got
so to answer the question directly, that would depend upon the customer's individual environment.
Okay, we've got a couple other folks here who are interested in seeing the scorecarding. They're also interested in seeing the search and are curious as to if the search functionality has been improved in 11G.
The search functionality has been improved in 11G, and definitely we'd be glad to follow up with you. I only got very briefly to touch on scorecarding. I can spend an entire hour in scorecarding, and I only had the 50 minutes for all of 11G. So we'd glad to provide a follow-up with that on scorecarding itself and the unique functionality. The search functionality has improved now, especially because you're expanding out a lot of what you're bringing into OBIEE 11G, a lot of different objects as well. And for those individuals, I can actually email them out some collateral on the scorecard as well.
We've got many questions rolling in here. There are a lot of people who have questions regarding this new release. I'm just going to ping you with a couple more.
I love it.
Let's see here. Prasad.
That's the reason we left plenty of time.
Prasad is curious, what version of SBase is OBIEE compatible with?
Currently, it is compatible with version 11 of SBase. Now, I also know from working with it that there are certain things you can connect to older versions of SBase. There may just not be some features that are fully supported, like user-defined attributes. So to get the most out of it, you need to be at least on the current version of SBase. However, to connect to other versions there or non-supported versions, there might only be one or two features you're losing along the way.
Are BI analytics available in 11G?
There's I personally have them working in 11G. I've seen customers working with them in 11G. There is a release of the BI applications that is imminent, that has been fully tested and supported within 11G, and that release of the BI application 796.2, I believe, is the official designation, will hopefully be out very, very soon. I cannot speak for Oracle or give specific release dates. Not even Oracle will do that, but I can say it is imminent.
We've got another question here for you. And considering you're not speaking for Oracle, this question is, how buggy is 11G right now? And should we wait for Oracle to fix the bugs?
Well, I have a lot of customers currently getting a lot of benefit out of the current release of 11G. I've had some customers convert environments in just a matter of days. Obviously, with such things as navigations and narrations, if you go through the conversion utility, you're going to find some things that are in that environment. Within the current release, if you're just creating a brand new report and net new customer, 11G by far is the best way to go. Now, in the release 1 of 11G, which we've already identified as imminent, one of the major things is the conversion utility improvements. So, part of our methodology when we upgrade customers to 11G is the regression testing of what they've already built in reports. But, you know, if you're creating net new reports, I mean, you are just absolutely good to go with the current release of 11G. I'm very impressed with the quality of what Oracle has rolled out and released.
How are we doing on time compared to what you have left here, Mark?
We've got about another 5 minutes. We wanted to keep this to about 45 minutes. So any hot topic questions out there that I know you've probably got 200 or 300 queuing up. We've had over 100 more than people pinging on online, so and almost 200 on the call.
All right, well, let's take 2 more, and then you can continue. And if we want to come back to the Q&A, we can do that as well. Question here. Do we have disconnected analytics in OBI-EE 11G?
Disconnected analytics continues to be a function. I have not personally tested that in 11G. That is a very good question. I can take that as a follow-up and find that one out. I mean, with the common consumption here in pixel perfect production report writing, I've been providing that a lot through HTML. We haven't seen a tremendous adoption of disconnected analytics in 11G, so I will have to verify that.
All right, one more for you before you continue. Is DAC and Informatica still supported going forward, or will it be replaced by ODI?
Oracle's long-term direction is to continue to support Informatica for quite some time. I mean, especially as an implementer, we start looking at all of the thousands of Informatica packages and routines that are there. Those aren't just going, no one's going to be able to wave a magic wand and, you know, just replace those. Now, there is a release for SAP customers that is ODI only, 7962, which provides financial analytics, and that's a big step forward with the ODI platform. But DAC and Informatica is so entrenched, I don't see that going anywhere for a long, long time. And in fact, the release 1 of 11G is doing additional certification on the latest and greatest version of Informatica. So Oracle is continuing to invest into that Informatica relationship and version certification.
Okay, well, we've got roughly 30 questions still remaining here. So if you want to continue and then let us know if we've got some time at the end, we'll continue to address these questions.
The only thing I had additional to add was, you know, I'm sure we're not going to be able to get through all 30 questions. I wanted to direct people to our website where they registered. They can also find information about KPI there. Our contact information for your regional directors. I myself cover TOLA in the Southeast and work with the federal government. We have other individuals like myself which cover other regions and throughout the U.S. and Canada. We do have online education and classroom through KPI University. We also then have several other packages which are also working with 11G, such as Salesforce.com connectivity, fixed assets BI application, ADP integration to bring ADP information into the BI applications. We're offering a lot of areas that are filling some specific gaps within the current version of the BI apps. While we're not trying to compete with Oracle, we have done a lot of those specific functional applications over and over again to where we productize them as a services offering, for example, student analytics. All of that information, as well as additional contact information, is available at our website, kpipartners.com. Since we are now basically at our allotted time, let's go ahead and take a couple more questions, and then I'll turn it back over to you, sir, to wrap us up.
Okay, sounds good. We've got one question regarding the architecture of 11G compared to 10G. Could you please show or discuss the architectural difference between 10G and 11G for OBI-EE?
It is leveraging much of the same architecture. The one architectural slide I did have in the PowerPoint did talk about a simplified topography. One of the main aspects is you still have the BI server, you still have the presentation server. But now the scalability and deployment, instead of those being OBI-EE specific functionality, they are now being integrated into the overall Fusion middleware platform standards, so that we're now operating inside a Fusion middleware environment, truly integrating into OID and single sign-on at an enterprise level, not at a specific BI application tool level. We're now leveraging, WebLogic and that Fusion middleware to handle our scalability, hot swap capabilities, multi-threading. So the real functional change from an architectural perspective is taking advantage of the Fusion middleware as a now to empower the scalability of OBI-EE 11G.
Is OBI-EE 11G using the same Corda charting engine, or is it using a different vendor for charting? I think it's Flash, isn't it? Did they convert to Flash?
It does have Flash components in it, but it is now a new charting engine versus 10G. So one of the things that we have discovered when we've done migrations, if you're doing net new, man, those charts are just screaming. But if you convert some of the old charts, that's where we regression test those charts, okay, specific areas. So if you had custom navigation, custom HTML pages, this is a new charting engine. Those would need to be regression tested.
Wayne asks, what are your thoughts on the conversion of interactive reporting BQYs to OBI-EE?
Love it.
So Brio.
I love it. Matter of fact, I've been through some of the advanced training. There is a Oracle conversion utility to handle conversion of BQYs to RPDs. Anyone who knows anything about Brio or interactive reporting knows that's your file behind the scenes. So, one thing I do want to emphasize, OBI-EE is not just another neat whiz-bang BI tool. It is the Oracle BI tool. So it's Oracle's strategic direction to provide conversion utilities for Brio. This thing does so much more than I could ever do with IR, okay? I had to do so much with custom JavaScripting, individual connection strings, building my own metadata topics, and every single report was a architecture within itself. And now, because OBI-EE uses a single information model rather than an information model per report, the scalability and dynamics of it are phenomenal, and it really is the way to go forward. And I have actually done several customers with those conversions and would love to have an opportunity to talk to you about that.
Kartik seems to be having some difficulty administering 11G versus 10G. In your opinion, is 11G harder to administer than 10G? I
wouldn't say that 11G is harder to administer than 10G. I would say that there are significant differences between administration in 10G from 11G, and you know, that's where a partner like KPI, who has worked with us, can come in and help you with those things. For example, you're no longer going in and, you know, how archaic was it? In 10G, you would go into and open up, you know, control files and XML files and hack on it to actually change your environment. I mean, you're talking about that was antiquated. Now it is grown up, it is more mature, which has added a level of complexity so that you're doing a lot of that deployment, and this is just one example, through Enterprise Manager and BEA. So there is a learning curve, and that's where KPI would love to extend the hand of friendship and also service to help you with those type of situations.
Great, thanks, Mark. We've still got about 15, 16, now 17 questions still going unanswered. Jim, Susan, Dustin, what we'll do is we'll compile all these questions. We'll send them off to our team here at KPI Partners and make sure that you guys get a response. So that concludes the Q&A portion of the event. Once again, feel free to let your colleagues know that we will rerun this webinar on March 1st, or feel free just to join us again if you have more questions. As mentioned earlier, KPI Partners and Oracle will be conducting 9 free hands-on workshops in the Western United States and Canada throughout March and April. Be sure to check out the schedule in your area on the KPI Partners website. Complete detail and registration for all events is now open through kpipartners.com. If you want to find out more about KPI Partners or how we can assist your organization with Oracle Business Intelligence and OBIEE 11G, please follow us on Twitter at KPI Partners or contact us through our website at kpipartners.com. Thank you to everyone for joining us on today's webinar, and thank you to Mark for presenting. Take care.
Have a good day.